Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of AntiNews Hot Takes, where I give you my hottest of hot takes on subjects that I find interesting or moderately important. And this one is kind of interesting and moderately important, I suppose, especially since we're talking about big tech censorship a lot lately with the coronavirus, with my conversation with John Schweppe coming out Monday. I'm not sure when this is coming out. I might put it out today. I don't know. But yeah, I'm skipping the intros and the pleasantries and all that stuff. You know what you're here for. You know what this is. You know what we do. Um, I talk about things. That's really all you need to know. But this article came across my radar, and I thought it'd be worth a nice little rant. Let's see here. Let's switch to this view. Um, nope. There we go. This view, even better. Okay. Uh, this comes from reclaimthenet.org, so it sounds like they're on the right track just with their name. But headline: Twitter users say its new hateful conduct rule will ban the phrase "Okay, Boomer." Now, I've already skimmed this one, which I don't normally do, but I did skim this one to see if it would be anything worth even talking about. Spoiler alert: they're currently not cutting out the phrase "Okay, Boomer," but that's kind of where this goes. The rules prohibit dehumanizing speech, quote unquote, on the basis of age, but Twitter says you can still say "Okay, Boomer." So that's the second headline. How come in the main headline for the clickbait it says that they say that they will ban the phrase "Okay, Boomer"? Just clickbait dishonesty that is gross and I don't like it, but whatever. That's the world we live in now. Last year, every time I do one of these, somebody feels the need to text me immediately after I start. Last year, like I go the whole day, no texts, nothing. And as soon as I start recording, text. Uh, that's why I forget to put it on silent because I never get texts otherwise. If I'm feeling lonely, I suppose I should just start recording, and then suddenly somebody will feel the need to talk to me. Last year, Twitter updated its hateful conduct rules and banned, quote, dehumanizing speech against protected groups in quotes too, obviously, which at the time included just religious groups. Now Twitter has announced that this policy is being expanded to include three more protected groups: age, disease, and disability. Now, saying that they only protected religious groups seems incorrect. And does that cover all religious groups? Does that include Christianity? I'm not going to be the right winger who's like, oh, Christianity is always under attack. However, I have seen plenty of people say, like, bash on Catholicism and Christianity and that type of thing, which I am totally fine with. Bash away. I do my fair share of bashing on those things as well. But if you're going to protect one, you should be protecting the other. In my opinion, protect none of them. Protect neither. But now we're up in the stakes to protect age, disease, and disability. What do you mean by protect? Do you mean people can't say words, can't say scary, harmful, angry words against certain groups? Because that's not protecting, that's coddling. Shortly after the policy was announced, many Twitter users suggested that this means making fun of people based on their age, and specifically tweeting "Okay, Boomer" is now going to be banned and considered, quote, hate speech under these new rules. There's no such thing as online bullying. I'm just going to keep going off on these tirades. There's no such thing as online bullying. There's no such thing as online attacks. As long as you have a little X button up in the left-hand corner of your screen, you can prevent it very easily. You can stop. You can choose to not partake in an atmosphere that you're uncomfortable with very, very easily. It's actually easier to not partake in that than it is to partake in it. In order to partake in it, that means that you have enough credibility. You've gotten to a certain state in your life where you have an opinion that people care about enough that they will attack it. They will disagree with you angrily. Your general run of the mill, I don't know, gay, Muslim, or what have you that posts on Twitter, people aren't necessarily going to be attacking because they're probably too small to even be noticed. If you work your way up to a certain level, you have to accept a certain level of scrutiny. If you use the internet to make your platform and your self-identification, then you have to accept the criticism and the attacks and the hate that comes with it, in my opinion. Now, Twitter can do whatever stupid shit they want, but I can certainly disagree with it. So yeah, talking about okay boomer, supposedly. Yeah, there's going to be a few tweets in here. Somebody said, so I can't make fun of boomers now, lame. Obviously jumping to the conclusion, but that is obviously the conclusion that one would make if you say that you can't discriminate or have hateful conduct against age, disease, and disability, right? So we can't even say, I don't know. Just, where's the line is the biggest question. Like, you can say, okay, boomer, but you can't say you're old. I don't know. So you heard it, guys. No more hard RB word. So what's up, my boomers? That's a good one. I like that. Boomers. That's our word. Our word is boomer. I just like the idea of a bunch of elderly folks being on Twitter. First off, being mad that somebody's calling them a boomer. I would say that probably the vast majority of people who are said okay boomer too aren't boomers. They're not even old. It's just used as a punchline and a joke to say, hey, you don't understand the climate, the social climate that we're in now. You don't get how things work. Somebody else says, so we can no longer say okay boomer. Somebody says the B word banned now. Right. So does this mean okay boomer is officially hate speech? Update. Twitter spokesperson confirmed to reclaim the net, which is them, that the rules won't ban the use of the phrase okay boomer. Now these guys, while they had clickbait, they did at least update it. That might be why the tagline or the second headline was changed, and they kept the initial headline so that you can kind of see the progression of this story as it unfolds. I can respect that, I suppose. But they at least did the work to reach out and ask Twitter, hey, does that include this? We're reporting on it as though it does. We would like to know if we are incorrect. Twitter said no. They said okay. They changed it. Great. The announcement of this policy comes just a few days after rapper Zuby had his Twitter account locked for responding okay dude to a transgender activist. A tweet that Twitter deemed to be in violation of its hateful conduct rules. I think we need more information because this transgender activist, were they transgender? Were they transgender male to female, female to male? Were they not transgender at all? We don't know. Why was okay dude offensive? I mean, there's obviously what you could take away from that information is that it was male to female, and he said okay dude in response to something and used it as a slam. So many users slammed Twitter for flagging the tweet and pointed out that dude is a unisex term and that the tweet was not hateful. That argument certainly could be made. It's not necessarily an honest argument. I mean, I would have to see the tweet in context to be able to judge for myself whether or not he meant it as an insult, because it seems very possible and plausible that he was using it as a way to say you're a man, not a woman. In his defense, I agree with him, and I don't think he should have been removed because of that. But that's really neither here nor there. Just trying to see all sides, trying to get a better picture of what actually happened. Not that I care. Not that not that okay dude in any context, even if you said it to a woman, should be offensive. Just like it wouldn't be offensive for somebody to call a man a bitch or a woman or something like that. Something that implies that they are a female. It's fine. It's not nice, sure, but when was Twitter ever the bastion of niceness, haven for safe speech and I don't know, unicorn farts? I don't know. Let's see. So yeah, they tried to claim that it wasn't hateful, and it's just a phrase that people say, which is true, but also you're being a little dishonest. The sudden update to this hateful conduct policy also comes on the same day that Twitter has introduced its new misinformation policy, which is likely to kill some memes on the platform. We might have to check that out after. Hateful conduct policy comes on the same day that Twitter introduced new misinformation policy. Misinformation policy. That is frightening. Why? Because misinformation assumes that Twitter has all the information and they know what is false. Like anytime you've got like Snopes or you've got even Facebook and YouTube saying, well, you shouldn't look at this thing because it's false. That's assuming that they know all the things. That's also assuming that, jokes and falsehoods are dangerous, which is just not the case. Some people are stupid. They're going to believe what you tell them, sure. But most people, I like to think the best of humanity. I like to think that you're not going to read a Babylon Bee article and be outraged, but I know some people will. We've talked about it in the Downers Club before. I did a whole rant on how somebody read a Babylon Bee article and took it as serious, and then a bunch of local yokels jumped on the bandwagon, and they were like, what a terrible thing, when it was admittedly satire from a satire site. So that's possible, but who cares? What difference does it make? What difference does it make? So, leaked documents suggest that a social credit-style fact-checking system, oh god, China, here we come, where Twitter users are encouraged to label harmfully misleading tweets in exchange for points, may also be introduced as part of the new misinformation policy. Holy shit. Holy shit. Twitter users are encouraged to rat out people and say this is harmfully misleading. And if they do so, if they help rat out people, they will gain points. If you're the type of person who rats out somebody that you disagree with, or that has something that's for anything, you're scum. You're bad people. I'm sorry. Like you're your goal in life is to make things worse. And you're succeeding. Good job. Good on you. Let's see where this goes and see how much you enjoy it when you have nobody left to be mad at because there's nobody left on the platform. So we're encouraging people to flag people, and that could be, somebody saying Trump's not a racist. Somebody says that's harmfully misleading. Trump is a racist, and it's harmful for you to say that he's not a racist because that is allowing racism to fester. Harmfully misleading. I get my brownie points. I get my social justice points for the day, and just that person's opinion is harmful and evil. This is not going to go well. This is not going to go well at all if they go down this road. Guaranteed. Overall, these new hateful... Let's open that too. Overall, these new hateful conduct and misinformation rules have left many Twitter users fearing that they will no longer be able to share memes, make fun of people, or share differences of opinion on the site. Yes. So what is the point of Twitter at that point? Like that's what your whole platform is memes and poking fun, being nasty sometimes, calling people out, saying you disagree with people, arguing, bickering. That's it's part of why I avoid Twitter for the most part, because it's not very fun. I enjoy a good debate if it's like good and whole, like if it has value and merit. I enjoy people giving both sides of an argument, but bickering, just resorting to name calling because you don't like the way that somebody else thinks is not productive. It's not valuable in my opinion. It's not. It's all that Twitter is, and you take that away, what do you got left? I don't know, but let's read some of these other ones. The new Twitter rules. Twitter announces, these are all from the same site, so I won't have to say it every time. Twitter announces new rules likely to kill some memes. Twitter says, this is on the, basically the fake news rule. Twitter says synthetic or manipulated media may be labeled or removed under the new rules. Twitter has announced that it will introduce new rules from March 5th, which will result in synthetic or manipulated media being labeled or removed from the platform. These rules are likely to have a huge impact on memes and result and result in many popular memes being labeled with a warning or censored by Twitter. So, like, let's say Donald Trump posts a video, like a meme video of him, like, wrestling with CNN anchor or something. That's going to be, I mean, this all, that might be an extreme, but that's the direction this goes in, where somebody can flag it and say, do you know that didn't really happen? That's misinformation. It's doctored. It's altered, which is what they're about to say here. Tweets that are labeled will come with a manipulated media warning that encourages people to, quote, view info from reputable sources. Thank you. Thank you so much for protecting us and keeping us safe. Facebook and YouTube have already done this, where you post something on even coronavirus, just talking about it, and they have to have their little WHO link on the actual information. Because you know everything, you know the actual information, you know that you're right, and there's no chance that anybody could go against that. That is frightening. That is dystopian, and I don't like it. Not to mention that I read an article recently that the WHO, or whatever, the company that YouTube always posts, they give a lot of money to YouTube to make sure that their things pop up. So it's basically free advertising and possibly disinformation on its own. Depending on where you take that, but they can be bought and sold. That has been proven many times. Just look at China, just look at coronavirus, just look at, probably, if I say it enough times, look down underneath this video on YouTube, and you'll see the link to whatever it is that's going to disagree with whatever I say on coronavirus, or the fact that I'm even saying the word. Which essentially fact check the meme and tell users that it has been altered or doctored. Duh. If Twitter users try to retweet or like memes with this label, they'll be shown a warning before they can complete the action. Good Lord. Just so you know, it's not true. Are you sure you want to share that joke? Memes with this label will also be. You know, sometimes I think I have bad reading abilities. Sometimes I think that people are terrible at writing. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the middle. Memes with this label will also be suppressed and prevented from being recommended on Twitter. Twitter users have slammed these rules with prolific meme maker Carpe Donktum saying, quote, this rule will be used to remove memes that you, Twitter, don't like. Exactly. Banning the type of content that is keeping Twitter alive. Bold move. Exactly. I've got a video here. This is a tweet. If you're not watching, maybe go watch. Oh, look. The media could not be played. New Twitter rules. They remove the sheet. Memes are now illegal. You're welcome. Yeah, exactly. Twitter keeps making these improvements, these quote-unquote improvements that make everybody's life worse, it sounds like. How can report this tweet for being misleading? This rule will be used to remove memes that you don't like. Not what you said. Exactly. Twitter literally just outlawed Carpe Donktum style video edits because people got ass mad and cried about it, said Gator. By the way, that's election interference, Twitter. Yeah, it can be. It certainly can be. It's a lot more likely that would be election interference than Russia buying Facebook ads. If you're squashing out people's ability to speak and say things that you disagree with, that's much more election meddling than Russia supposedly buying some bad ads, like those ads were what convinced people to vote for Donald Trump. Quote, yes, Twitter will be much better without squints memes. Shit. And prop up. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what these things are. I'm a boomer, I suppose. I'm actually a millennial technically, but I don't identify as either. Chaotic Eyeblade added, so a meme ban, nice on Twitter. Okay, this is boring. Twitter's new rules rolled out on the same day that Google-backed research group unveiled a new tool for detecting doctored images. Just announced that this tool will be given to more than a dozen news and fact-checking organizations around the world. Man, I kind of like this website, even though they're not great with their ability to not have typos, but uh, they do know how to keep you sucked in for a while, because I do want to click on that now, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to make this a really long episode. I'm going to keep going. Both announcements came after legacy media outlets have framed several memes shared by President Trump as, quote, doctored over the last few months. See? You got to let people know that those obviously fake memes are obviously fake memes. Attempts by other platforms to regulate memes have proved to be disastrous for users, with Instagram's fact-checking program killing memes on the platform. I don't care. This censorship thing is going off the rails, and it's not looking well. I personally think that it's going to result in people getting fed up with it and going somewhere else. I actually heard about this article, the first article on the OK Boomer thing. I heard about it through Gab News. Now, I'm not a huge advocate for Gab. I like the direction that they're going. It doesn't seem like they're squashing information. It seems like they're certainly slanted, like all the rest. They are slanted to the right, in my opinion, and I'm neither left nor right, so it's still got its annoying things, but it looks like they are going towards. I get their news in my email and stuff, and I check out some of the articles and things. They also are doing. I think they're currently working on a search engine that will just be whatever has the most clicks gets the highest place on their search engine, instead of whatever they like the most. So, I mean, whether they're right or not, it doesn't really matter, because they are allowing most popular opinion to shine through, which at the end of the day is good. Open market, free market, good. But yeah, I think that this type of thing that Twitter's doing is going to end up pushing more people to platforms like Gab, as they just rolled out their. You can go sign up for their pro. You can get a blue check mark. You can start groups and stuff. You can do the search engine, all that. So it's kind of what we need right now. They've got to be looking at this like, please keep going. Please keep telling people what they can and can't say. Please do that, because it's only making their job easier in getting people to migrate away from these giant corporations. Yeah, and I've heard a libertarian friend of mine. He was complaining that because I mentioned that Gab was doing better than I expected it to be doing, for one, and they were kind of stepping it up a notch in the social network game. And I was like, anybody interested in going over there if I go over there, and or if I like take our group over there or anything like that? And he said no, because he's been there and he got shouted down by a bunch of super right-wing conservatives, which that would be annoying. I get that. However, what did you expect? Like, when they are the ones specifically that aren't really welcome on any of these other platforms. Libertarians kind of are in the in-between a lot of the times, where they're not completely censored right off the bat. Like, I feel like there's more of a crackdown on the right wing than there is on libertarian speech, because a lot of people just don't understand libertarian speech and they don't want to know about it. It's not that big of a threat anyway. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm saying that that's probably how some of the left-wing places like Twitter and Facebook view it. I know that Lions of Liberty guys got completely demonetized on YouTube, so there's that. But yeah, you got to understand that the reason, of course, it's going to be like a safe haven for, if it is a safe haven for like the right extremists, or even just like super right-wing conservatives, or people with dissenting opinions these days. They're going to flock to it, and then it's going to become all about that. That doesn't mean that the platform is not cracking down on left-wing speech or libertarian speech, to my knowledge, like Twitter and Facebook. So it's still better, even if you have to bicker with some people that you don't agree with, that you don't like. Fine, but if Gab starts censoring, if evidence comes out that they're censoring left-wing stuff even, I'm going to be opposed to them. As of now, I think that they're going in a good direction. I think that they're better than Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, because they are allowing people to talk, and freedom of discussion that is dissenting is great. So let's get back to this last one here, and then we'll wrap it up with this. Twitter tests social credit style fact-checking system for politicians and public figures, and Gab applauds. Applauds your decision-making, I'm sure. Users are rewarded, quote, points for fact-checking tweets. This is not good. Leaked documents have revealed that Twitter is testing a China social credit style community-based points. That's a mouthful. Testing a China social credit style community-based point system. That's exactly what I said too. It's very, very China, very authoritarian. That encourages users to fact-check, quote, harmfully misleading tweets in exchange for points. In the leaked demo, this feature is titled Community Notes and asks users to, quote, contribute in good faith and act like a good neighbor. Yes. Yes, Twitter. You get your base, right? You understand your base. All the Twitter users are known for contribute in good faith and act like a good neighbor. That's what Twitter users are. Like, how dumb can you be? How tone deaf can you be to think that your Twitter base is, when given this amount of power, they're going to use it only to make sure that only the truth comes out, regardless of whether they like the truth or not. They're just going to use it for the greater good, right? Welcome to the Community Notes. The mission of Community Notes is to help us understand important content around the tweets and information we see. Like Wikipedia, anyone in the world can contribute, and the community follows rigorous standards and processes to ensure quality. Community Notes abides by the following values: provide critical context that is essential to public well-being. Notes are not a space for personal opinion or belief. Yeah, but it will be. Contribute in good faith and act like a good neighbor. No. They're not gonna. Together we act to help each other understand what's happening in the world and protect each other from those who would drive us apart. Yeah, sure. The demo of the Community Notes feature asks users to fact-check, quote, harmfully misleading tweets in exchange for points. Yeah, that's from NBC News. The demo reads, the more points you earn, the more your vote counts, and sums up the goal of Community Notes as, quote, together we act to help each other understand what's happening in the world and protect each from those who would drive us apart. But that's assuming that anybody knows what's happening in the world, any Twitter user at all, and that they all agree on what actually is happening in the world. Like, Pepsi is better than Coke, right? No, you disagree, right? But I think it's just the truth. I think it's just a thing. But you have the ability to say Coke is better than Pepsi and gain points from not allowing me to have my own opinion. That's where this goes, obviously. I don't have to tell you that. The Community Notes feature works by asking users to rate whether a tweet is, quote, likely, unlikely, or to be harmfully misleading, and then asking them to rate how many Twitter users will agree with them on a percentage scale. I don't know. I don't get it. Whatever. It's dumb. Twitter users are also asked why they believe the tweet is harmfully misleading. Well, at least there's that. The harmfully misleading tag, this is from Ben Collins. It's a tweet. The harmfully misleading tag wouldn't just be for politicians. It'd be for climate change, denial, and health misinformation too, at least according to this test. Exactly. And I don't like that, because a lot of the things I talk about, people disagree with, which I should be allowed to do. Okay, we'll come back to that picture. Here's what the community reporting tool could look like. 2 schools of thought on community moderation. Without checks, it could be brigaded by bad actors, as most things do, but bad actors could get scarlet lettered by abusing the reports function. Question: given the current evidence, is it likely that this tweet contains harmfully misleading information that could cause real-world harm to individuals or society? Question 2. What percentage of other community members will answer the same as you? The more accurate your answer, the more your report count, and the more points you will receive. I don't like it. Question number 3. What about this tweet does or doesn't make it harmfully misleading? This will be visible to people who see the tweet. References to external sources can often be helpful. Another screenshot from this leaked demo shows how these community notes could be applied to tweets with bright orange badges on tweets that have been classed as harmfully misleading. Below these tweets is a top reports section which shows the fact checks on the tweets. So here's the thing. If you disagree with somebody, you can say, no, I disagree with them. Like, if somebody thinks Donald Trump's good, just going with an easy one that everybody obviously would go to. If I said, which I don't think, that Donald Trump is good, and somebody said, I disagree and I find that harmfully misleading, all that matters is that enough people agree with them, that they have a bigger amount of people that they can rally behind them to vote down my thoughts. That's all that matters. So, whoever gets enough zombie drones, or even starts enough fake Twitter accounts to vote it down, they can do that. They can do that and stop any speech that they want, anything at all. It sounds like Twitter has confirmed that this leaked demo is one possible. This is a quote: "Is one possible iteration of a new policy to target misinformation, which will, be introduced on March 5th. That was yesterday. So this is already rolling out apparently. It appears that this social credit fact-checking system will be understood on tweets from politicians and public figures. Several Twitter users have expressed skepticism about whether this system will be used fairly or instead just push one side of the narrative. Obviously, that's going to happen. It's not even really a question. Is Twitter planning on retroactively color-coding the tweets of thousands of, quote, journalists who relentlessly promoted the collusion hoax, asking for a friend? NBC News says Twitter, they're just talking about the demo. John F. Miller 86 says, so proponents of ideologies that are underrepresented on Twitter will have their tweets routinely flagged as misinformation. Everyone who's reading this knows exactly what's going to happen. Who's going to be targeted for that reason alone? It's absurd. Of course it is. Of course it is. Yep. This leaked demo comes just weeks after Twitter said that manipulated media would be targeted under this same March 5th misinformation policy, a decision that many Twitter users saw as an attack on memes. Yes. So I'm here. I'm a little behind the curve. Sure. This came out on February 20th, this article did. I'm a little behind the curve on some of these things, but that's fine. I don't really use Twitter that much. I just post our episodes when they come out, and when I have a thought here and there, or me and Scott from QAnon Chronicles like to live tweet the debates sometimes. Just make fun of stuff, but it doesn't affect me that much. It is the grander scale, big picture view that concerns me more so than how it affects me on Twitter. It is the idea that we're going to start implementing fact-checking on stupid people like me by other stupid people like me. I don't want that kind of power either. I don't want me to have that kind of power to be able to go. I wouldn't use it ever, but for me to be able to go to somebody else, unless it was like a blatant attack against me, I might use their system to go back and say, hey, false, because there's no other way to stop that except for, slander in court. But I don't think I would ever use this feature in any capacity whatsoever, whether I agreed with them or not. I know that I wouldn't. But somebody like me also has the ability to slam somebody like you and stop you from having an opinion. So if you think that I'm a crazy person, and I have enough crazy people listening to me, following me, that I can rally the troops to go say, that person's crazy, you're crazy. I have the ability to do that, and I shouldn't have that power any more than you should have that power, any more than Twitter should have that power, because I am dumb. I don't know things. There's plenty of things I don't know. So I shouldn't have the ability to say, I know, you don't know, and that's that. And I'm going to leave it at that. I've already talked for way too long, as I do. And, what are we at? 35 minutes? It's not too bad. It's still a hot take, in my opinion. But thank you guys for listening. Go let Twitter know how you feel. I know that there was a hashtag trending yesterday that was like goodbye Twitter or something like that. Rest in peace Twitter or something. So go let them know how you feel about this Orwellian censorship, and let Gab know how you feel. Let Minds know how you feel. Let ThinkSpot know how you feel. All these new social networks that are opening up. Go join them, even if you don't use them right away. Get in on the ground floor with some of them. Let them build a little bit, but you got to give them a bit of a chance. At least go sign up and have an account there ready for you when this all goes down, and it is completely worthless, and it is coming like a Orwellian Chinese dictator freight train. So that would be my recommendation to you. Go join the other platforms, and you don't have to use them yet, but you're gonna want them soon. That's where I think this is going, because Twitter's about to eat itself alive. If it hasn't already, I will try to go post this on Twitter as long as it's still there. But thank you guys for listening. Tune in. Well, probably the day that you're listening to this, QAnon Chronicles with Scott McElroy came out again. And Monday morning I will be doing something. Big Tech Censorship with John Schweppe. That's the main episode, so it's related to all this. Go check it out. tsidpod.com. Of course, if you will have me, I will be right back here in your ears on Monday morning with some more uncomfortable content for you. Until then, please question everything, stay uncomfortable, leave Twitter, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.